just what that looks like. So we'll look forward to that as well. And as soon as as soon as he is sworn in, he will then be in charge of the Mueller investigation also. And that's obviously something everyone is keeping an eye on, whether or not he will be nonpartisan and whether or not he will maintain all the proper protocols associated with the investigation and not touch the Mueller investigation. Now, I can say that a lot of folks are skeptical and saying Barr somehow will err on the side of protecting Trump and display some sort of loyalty to Trump uh, related to this investigation. And there are some reasons to be suspect of that, given how he advised George H.W. Bush to pardon all the remaining Reagan era buddies of his and theirs who were about to be prosecuted for their roles in the Iran Contra scandal, and he got President Bush to pardon all those guys. So it's a little tough to tell how he's going to fall down. But he's also been very, very close friends with Robert Mueller. He, Robert Mueller has always had a very straight and narrow view on the world when it came to law and order and the rule of law. And William Barr and Mueller have shared a lot of those views as very deep, close personal friends whose families have interacted and been close friendships as well. And so I don't know. I do think they both have a commitment, and William Barr may surprise everyone after he and Robert Mueller, now as Attorney General and Special Counsel, have a chance to sit down and discuss this whole thing as professionals with a similar commitment to the rule of law in place. It could be an interesting conversation, and I don't necessarily agree, I'm not going to just jump on the bandwagon that somehow Mr. Barr is there to protect Trump. If Mueller, in a professional context, has a conversation and shows him things that don't deserve protection, I'm not certain that William Barr would protect these people that are involved. I'm not certain that he wouldn't either because of what he did with the Iran Contra folks that he got pardoned. So we'll have to wait and see how that all turns out. But William Barr is the new Attorney General. He was confirmed today. And that's just something else that you all should know. It's an interesting footnote. He, during his hearings, he seemed to be stuck in the 90s. And I can tell you that it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing unfolds. But the big news, obviously, today is that looks like we've got a budget deal in place that will avert any additional government shutdown. The Senate passed a bill, 84 votes today, and sent it over to the House, who is also expected to pass the bill and send it to the president, who has said he will sign it, but then will also immediately declare his state of emergency. Now, that is something he has been threatening since the first shutdown started. So it's hard to justify something being an emergency based on how long you've been talking about it being an emergency. I mean, emergencies are usually kind of acute and not something that just goes down, in a quick, long heartbeat. It's something that happens right away. A hurricane is an emergency. A flood, that's an emergency because it's happening right now. This thing at the border, and all the statistics do not justify an emergency. All the members of Congress along the border represent the border towns do not agree it's an emergency. There are several Republicans in the Senate and in the House who also disagree with the notion of an emergency. Senator Collins, Senator Rubio, to name a few. Senator Cornyn of Texas, a border state, also questions the veracity of this being an emergency to justify executive action. And so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But it sounds like Mitch McConnell has announced that that's what he's going to do, with his blessing, by the way. And so, but as we've heard, the Department of Justice has already said that any he would face immediate. He would be facing immediate challenges in court, and that the I'm just trying to make sure I get my facts straight here. Yeah, they would certainly end up with a big mess in court. The Department of Justice is even warning that it would be blocked by a court almost immediately. There will be an injunction as soon as the president declared that the courts would get involved. And so there would actually be no law. It's just a big publicity political stunt. At the end of the day, everyone, it's just a big political publicity stunt. And it won't amount to much. It'll take, some time to go through the courts. Not really sure how long this process would go given the political nature and the stakes involved. But what I can say is that this is what's being announced. So with Senator McConnell's blessing, apparently Donald Trump is going to take executive action. And Nancy and the Democrats have honestly have shown a lot of backbone that they're willing and they're prepared to stand in and have this political fight. And I want to say welcome and thank you to all who are here and giving us some shine on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Thank you for being here. Hit the share button if you haven't already. And let me remind everyone, you're right here with Loveless on Call to Reasons, CTR on the side, Thurssday edition. And I want to say chin chin to everyone and welcome. Happy Valentine's Day to you, by the way. Let me also pause and take a moment and say thank you so much to our valuable sponsors. And folks, we've got some exciting new sponsors coming on board. I'm certain that out of all of the ones that are here, we're about to pick up some cannabis sponsorship here on the podcast. Because as you know, I'm all about the cannabis. Supported everywhere. Medical card holder, proudly so. And totally advocating for it as a very beautiful healing medicine. So let me thank, though, our sponsors that we have today. Keishi, the Zuni Connection. Love them. Love everything about them. They're right there, 227 Don Gaspar Avenue in Santa Fe, folks. If you haven't checked out their showroom, it is amazing. You walk in and it is an explosion of creative perfection from the Zuni Pueblo. They represent the people and the artistry of the Zuni Pueblo, and they do it exclusively at Keishi, the Zuni Connection, 227 Don Gaspar. You're going to love everything they have in there. They have jewelry. They have kachinas. They have fetishes. They have some pottery even. They have art. They have fancy bolos and all kinds of just wonderful artistry and items from the people of the Zuni Pueblo, who they've supported for 38 years, and they've done it so well. And now they have a foundation, the Keishi Foundation, that's also maintaining and supporting the longevity of this artistry to share with the world. Check them all out. Go to the store at 227 Don Gaspar, and if you are out of town, like a lot of you watching are, go check them out online at Keishi, K-E-S-H-I, K-E-S-H-I, Keishi.com. And check out their foundation, thekeishifoundation.org. You won't be disappointed. And the bargains, the prices are always right. And it's locally and fairly sourced from Zuni Pueblo. And you're supporting families that eat and breathe just like you. Y'all check them out and support them. And we also want to say thank you to our friends at Legacy Pond. They're located at 3668 Cerrillos Road in Santa Fe. Listen, they've got great bargains of all kinds. You'd be amazed at the quality merchandise you could get at prices that just make retail look like a practical joke. Go see my friends at Legacy Pond. Tell Joe I sent you. And they have a special surprise for you. They'll have a little something sweet in the pot for you. If you tell them Call a Reason, sit you down to Legacy Pond at 3668 Cerrillos Road in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We love them. And listen, they even give you 100% back in credit if something doesn't work out. If you bring your receipt, Best prices in town, quality merchandise, my friends and yours at Legacy Pawn. Go see them. They'll take care of you. And tell them Loveless sent you. Thank everyone again for being here. Your Caller Reasons Thurssday, CTR on the Side podcast. And I just wanted to say that it looks like there is going to be a deal. There's going to be a deal that's passed the Congress. And of course, the president will sign the bill, and he has indicated that he is going to declare an immediate emergency once he signs this bill. Now, what the funny thing about it is that even his own Justice Department is saying that it's going to be challenged in court and therefore stayed, meaning no new construction beyond what Congress has appropriated will go on. And this whole thing is just a big political publicity stunt to give Trump something to complain about and try to rally his base around, turning his attention to making the courts the demon in this whole process moving forward, because Congress won't have anything to do with it after that. Once he declares his emergency and starts trying to move money around, he won't be able to do it once court injunctions are in place. And of course, we know it will go all the way to the Supreme Court. And I doubt very seriously the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is going to cast a vote to allow this fake crisis to be a legitimate national emergency. And let me remind you, the Democrats' response has been swift and it's been backbone filled. And honestly, it's been based on common sense. If this is the threshold of a national emergency, Mr. President, then we certainly can see how it's way easier justified that gun control, the Green New Deal, so many other reforms that are necessary right now. You know, global warming, gun control, there could be so many things that a Democratic or some other president could declare national health care. That could become a national emergency under a different administration. There are no abilities for any president to bypass, to circumvent the separation of powers that have been put together and constructed in the Constitution. We have three branches of government for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. And despite his best efforts to become a dictator and to become a fascist, authoritarian, and rule through plutocracy, this kakistocracy is beyond repair, and 2020 can't get here soon enough. But yes, the government will not be shutting down again anytime soon. And so we can at least say, chin to that. In the meantime, there's a lot more that's going on that the House is moving. They just today voted to back a bill to expand gun sale background checks, which would improve gun safety in the country, which is needed. So it's very interesting. Beth and I are going to talk about this new Attorney General in depth on Sunday and how his children and son-in-law are moving around different jobs. Son-in-law is going to work for Trump in the White House now, so conflict of interests concerns are already starting to arise, and so we'll see how that all pans out. Another red pill reality check I want to share while we're podcasting today. We'll talk about a little bit about this on Sunday as well. But Trump's Department of Homeland Security has gutted the task forces, all of the task forces that were protecting our elections from foreign meddling. So they're doing everything they can to dismantle. And this is real talk, y'all. We're going to talk a lot about this on Sunday on the radio. Of course, you'll be right here with us, able to watch it and see it on all these mediums as well. But let me tell you something. They are dismantling the protections that we've had in place and all the activities that we've been running to prevent additional attacks on the election in 2020. They're unlocking the keys and leaving the front door open. They're moving the security guards away from the gate, and they're taking away all the activities that we've been using to protect ourselves. And that should trouble any patriot in this country. So I can just tell you that there are so many things going on, and including Trump refusing to pay the 500,000 federal contractors that won't get their back pay during the shutdown. Shameful, 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 folks. And these are the kinds of things that you just cannot accept. You just shouldn't accept it. Now, I also want to switch subjects here and talk just briefly about what's been happening with Manafort in the Mueller investigation. As we know, we do have a new attorney general, so we will be able to see at some point, what's happening with the investigation, or we won't. How Barr processes all this remains to be seen. But what we do know is that Paul Manafort is going to jail, and he's going to jail for a longer amount of time than perhaps he thought he was, because the judge has agreed with Mueller's team that the reason why they'd like to withdraw their lighter sentence recommendation is because he's a bald-faced liar and he's not been cooperating as promised. The judge has agreed on 3 out of 5 of those points that he did indeed lie. She's granted them permission to withdraw their sentence recommendation of a lighter sentence. And she will take into it, she wanted to see and hear their evidence because she needed to determine if it would play a role in whether or not she would throw the book in his ass come sentencing, which is coming up very soon. So Paul Manafort, now people are speculating he's about to do some serious prison time, and he's put all his eggs betting that Trump is going to pardon him. Who knows what's going to happen, but y'all stay tuned. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. We're going to talk a lot on Sunday also, y'all, about, we're going to go down the list because, we have such a long list, and thank everyone for being here. I want to tag some folks and say thanks for being here and wave. Good to see you, cuz. Shalanda, happy Valentine's Day, and happy belated birthday as well, cuz. Or happy birthday again. Listen, I also want to remind everybody that Sunday we're going to be on the air, Beth and I. And we're going to be talking a lot about, we're going to go down the complete list of all the various ways Team Trump keeps changing their story on the whole Russia collusion, Russia obstruction of justice, and all those other things. There's some very realistic way. I mean, there's the reality is sobering, and I think it's worth all of us just kind of really staying in touch with what's really going on. And so I hope you all will join us on Sunday, 8 to 10 a.m. right here in the Mountain Time Zone where I am in Santa Fe, 10 to noon on the East Coast, and 9 to 11 in the Central Time Zone, and of course 7 to 9 a.m. on the West Coast. And always archived here in our social media. We are always here for you. Call to Reason Reality Talk Radio Sunday morning live and live streamed at SantaFe.com. We're on 103.7 FM and Talk 1260 AM right here in Santa Fe. KTRC, Santa Fe's news talk leader. And right now you're on Santa Fe's best national reality talk radio show, Call to Reason's CTR on the side, Thurssday podcast. And just got a couple of other issues I want to discuss before we sign off for the night. And we hope that you will join us on Sunday. Brock Long has resigned as the FEMA administrator. These are stories, big stories, like it should be a big deal when the head of FEMA resigns, but there's so much scandal and confusion, just like Trump wants it, going on, that just buried under the headlines, the head of FEMA has resigned. And so Peter Gaynor, his deputy, will serve as acting administrator, adding to the list the number of acting department heads that have not been confirmed by the Senate, have not been fully vetted, and are therefore under full control of Donald Trump, and he does not have to rush to replace him. Keep in mind, 458 senior level, top level administration positions that absolutely should be filled such that government is functioning properly have not even been nominated. Trump is running an authoritarian skeleton government, and that's just another red pill reality check right here for you on Call the Reasons. CTR on the side. Thurssday, y'all. Michael Cohen still stalling for his congressional testimony. Goes to jail on March 6th. So we'll keep you posted. We'll stay tuned and keep you posted on whether or not he makes it before the House and Senate committees that he has agreed to. And one other thing I wanted to talk about is a little unknown story. Is a whistleblower that blew the whistle on security clearances, including Jared Kushner's, is now seeking official protection after raising concerns about unwarranted security clearances and then being silenced by her boss and reprimanded and all other kind of craziness. You know, that's going on with these security clearances. There are 30-some people whose security clearances are really questionable inside the White House right now. And folks ought to know about it. Folks want to know about it. And we're going to keep you posted on that too as well on Sunday. And so I want to thank our sponsors again, K-She, the Zuni Connection, and the K-She Foundation, and Legacy Pawn for your beautiful sponsorship and all you do. K-She is located in Santa Fe at 227 Don Gaspar Avenue, and you can reach them online at KSHI.com. You can also see their beautiful work of the K-She Foundation at thekSheFoundation.org. Also, check out our other great sponsor, Legacy Pawn, 3668 Cerrillos Road, right here in Santa Fe. They've got great deals, quality merchandise, and prices that just make retail look like a fabulous joke. Folks, hope you'll tune in with us on Sunday. We can't wait to see you again, 8 to 10 a.m., right here where I am in Santa Fe, 10 to noon on the East Coast, 9 to 11 Central, and 7 to 9 on the West Coast. It's called A Reason Reality Talk Radio. We'll be with you right here from the studios of Talk 1260 and 1037, KTRC, Santa Fe's News Talk leader, and also streaming live at santafe.com and, of course, on all these beautiful platforms. We hope you'll hit the share button. Hope y'all have a happy, happy Valentine's Day. And we'll see you Sunday, bright and early on the radio. Until then, peace, blessings, love. See y'all then.